Welcome to the episode number 63 of the podcast From Stress to Success Blueprint with your host Lolita. Okay, so I want to start talking about stress management tips. And in the previous episode, I mentioned that there's something going on about my book. So yes, I published this book, Crush Stress While You Work, 7 years ago, or probably even 8, and I'll be rewriting it. And next to it, I will have a workbook and also a diary because it's very important to really work on those things, not just read about them, right? But today I want to talk kind of like a start quite a few episodes about simple tips how we can manage stress. So I know I already started some of them in the previous episodes, but there's one like I want to talk about today. And when you are feeling stressed about something, about any situation at work or about relationship or anything that really bothers you, I recommend you to write a letter to your friend. Um, and you immediately can think, well, but wait a minute, what kind of letter you want me to write? An email? You want me to write on a handwriting? It's not about that you're actually going to give that letter to a friend. Although you can, but that will be just kind of waste of time, right? Because you rather just, if you really need to have a feedback, then you just can call your friend or meet your friend and have a conversation with your friend. But that is a little bit different. I'm talking about writing it out. And there's a great tip how to just dump it out, everything. If let's say you feel overwhelmed, that there's so much going on and you really don't know what to do, it's a good idea just take a piece of paper, a pen, and just write it out, everything that's happening in your mind. You can even just write, number one, you write it down what you worry about this thing. Number two, you write it down another one. And then you can just, it kind of looks like a to-do list, but it's really not to-do list. It's like a worry list. You just dump it out, everything that's happening in your mind, and you just dump it out. And what happens, you address all of this, you address it, and it's this energy being worked on. When you know what is happening in your mind, it's easier to control. You feel more relaxed because now you know what's on there. You kind of like lay everything on the table, and then you can look at it and you can decide what you're going to do with this. That is taking control, and that is supposed to make you feel less stressed. So that's one thing. You can dump it out, everything. And actually, I was not even planning on saying about this in this episode, but I just remember. So why not to mention, right? Okay, so writing a letter to a friend. You probably already know that when you're writing with your handwriting, it's a very good connection from your brain to your hand, and you're just really focusing what you're doing, and you're just getting out. You're getting out all the energy. So, but when you're talking with a friend, imagine that you're writing to your best friend, and can say, well, I don't have a best friend. Or, then have an imaginary best friend, or maybe your friend already passed and you cannot really call them, and you just cannot, like, imagine you writing them a letter and they will get it. Imagine that you're having a conversation with them. Actually, if you don't like writing, you just can imagine that that person standing in front of you in the room, or you're just having a conversation, like you're having a coffee and they're sitting next to you at the table and you're just having a conversation with them and you're just telling them all about it. Or you could be driving in the car and you just had a very stressful day and you're just driving and you imagine that you're talking to them and you just say everything that is on your mind, how upset you are, how things don't go well, or how hopeless you feel, or how you don't know what to do. You just talk it out. You just talk it out. And during this process, you may find that you find a solution. And it will kind of come to your mind like, oh, you know what, I actually can do this and this and that. But in this process, you're honoring your own needs. In this process, you are there and you're not abandoning yourself. So many times we are afraid that, oh, I don't want to talk to anyone because if I'm going to tell them, they will think about me badly, or I don't want to, waste their time. I don't want to bother them. But when you're talking with an imaginary friend, you just You're just talking. Nobody's going to complain to you that you're wasting their time. So you should not be feeling guilty about that. You just talk it out. Here's another side note. You even can create a committee. In case you didn't hear, you can create a committee of amazing people that you just adore, or you think that the authorities in the field, and you have this imaginary group of people that you maybe bring that issue to, and you can say, I have this issue and I have this stress, and I don't know what to do about this, and you just talk it out. And then you just imagine what would that person, that authority, that expert in the field will recommend you, and just kind of listen in what the idea comes to your mind. I've heard a lot of people get these solutions done like this. Or if you're stressing, what they say, write it down on a piece of paper before you go to sleep. And in the morning you wake up and you probably will know what to do. Look at this. This episode came out of quite a few tips on how to deal with stress in that particular situation. So if you're watching this on YouTube and if you found this video useful, please like it and share it if you think that somebody can benefit from this video. And if you have not subscribed to my channel yet, so please subscribe. That can help me to reach more people that I can help, and that's what I dearly want to. Um, and I want to know, how is that you do with friends? Do you talk to your friends about your problems, or you really don't like to tell anyone about it and you just kind of keep it all inside? I would love to hear it in your comments. And tomorrow we'll be talking about another stress management tip.